Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar news update video. This one's going to be all about comics, so be ready for that. And yeah, I'm not behind the camera because I got a lot of visual stuff to actually talk about here, so I'll just have it up on screen here for you to look at. So first up, get it out of the way, the Rift hardcover or library edition as it's called is going to be released this Wednesday, February 11th. So definitely get your hands on this book on Wednesday. I will be hopefully getting this book on Wednesday. I have noted in the past that it's been easier to get these library editions than it has been to get the art book, so I really hope I will be able to get this one on Wednesday and have a review up straight away. So I'll do my best to get that. The book is going to retail for around $34.99 US dollars. It's going to be roughly the same everywhere. Basically, it's going to be $35 euros or whatever. And yeah, this is the third comic series, all three parts collected into one book. The art is a bit bigger than the individual parts. You also get annotations along the sides of the pages for many of the pages. And then at the back of the book there's going to be some concept art and stuff like that. So some pretty interesting stuff in these hardcover collections. If you have yet to get the Rift comic, this is the way to get it if you don't have the individual parts already. And even if you do, if you're a collector, definitely worth getting because they're amazing big books. So yeah, hopefully a review on Wednesday. But next up, the big piece of news that we got this week, and that was the preview pages for this year's Free Comic Book Day 2015 comic. We got the cover in the past, as you can see here on screen. Ty Lee and Toph, unusual character combination. We didn't really know anything about what the book was actually going to be about, but we knew that we had a new artist in Carla Speed McNeil. Now we have three preview pages from this comic, which is going to be available for free on Free Comic Book Day this year, which is May 2nd, which is a Saturday. So that's interesting. But yeah, let's get into the pages and do some analysis on this. So here's the first page. We start off with Ty Lee kind of taking a break from Kyoshi Warrior training, and then Toph comes up to her and just starts talking to her about stuff, and basically asks why she's not over with the rest of the Kyoshi Warriors, and Ty Lee reveals that she is becoming she's beginning to feel like she's not kind of needed kind of with them, doesn't know if that's really right for her and stuff like that. And so Toph, to kind of cheer her up, tries to bring her to a nearby circus and stuff like that. So that's interesting. Next we actually arrive at the circus, and it's revealed that this is the exact same circus that Ty Lee was actually at before she went off with Azula. And so we meet the circus master again, and then on the final page we meet Toph's other 6 identical sisters, and it's revealed that all of their names are Tai something or other. Now all of them seem identical in terms of personality, except the last sister she mentions, Tai Wu, who seems to be, all of the other ones seem to be really happy to see her, and she's kind of just like, oh, so you can get the sense that Tai Wu is a little bit jealous of Ty Lee. And they've become the new acrobats while Ty Lee has been away, and it's been said that they are better than her or something like that, and that's the story that we have so far. So straight away, the big thing that you get from this is that Ty Lee is the focus character of this comic. Toph is just kind of there as support. Like, maybe she'll come in at the end and maybe say something inspiring or give Ty Lee some advice after whatever she goes through in this comic, but the focus is on Ty Lee, and that makes sense because she's the one who needs the development much more than Toph does. So the interesting thing here is obviously we get to meet her sisters, and it's also playing into her kind of character arc that she had towards the end of the series, where she always was talking about how the reason she went off and joined the circus was to get away from her identical sisters, because she always felt like she was part of a matched set. She always felt like she never had her own name, and that's shown here because it's not just that she has identical sisters, she has nearly identical names with everyone else as well. They're all Tai something or other, and she doesn't feel very unique around them. And so she goes off on her own and does this sort of thing. So this is playing into that again, that she's meeting them again and she's happy to see them after a long time. But it's revealed that kind of they're just as good as her at the kind of circus acrobatics and stuff like that. Now, where exactly is the comic going in terms of story here? I'm not really sure, but I think the fact that she's becoming a little bit disheartened at the Kyoshi Warriors is going to play into this a little bit. because the thing is, we haven't really seen a lot of Ty Lee doing stuff with the Kyoshi Warriors. Like, she joined them at the very end of the series. That was kind of like her epilogue scene. That's the resolution for her arc in the series. In The Promise, we got a little bit on her, like she's helping to protect Zuko with Suki and stuff like that. But she hasn't really done anything with them. And now we see that the first focus we've got on Ty Lee since then, she's already thinking of kind of leaving, that it's not for her. So there's clearly something going on there, whether it be she does this circus performance and proves that she is better than them in acrobatics, and proves that she is unique and that she's more skilled than her sisters or something like that. Or maybe she is going to get over her kind of issues with her sisters and accept that she is unique even though she is part of a match set and that she has identical sisters with nearly the same names. Or is it going to be something like that where she realizes that, okay, maybe I could go back and join the circus, but I'm not really accomplishing anything there. Even though maybe I'm not enjoying it right now, being part of the Kyoshi Warriors is something that my sisters can't do because I'm better at combat than them. I can do chi blocking, they can't. So that's what I'm going to do from here on out. Like, maybe because of some advice that Toph gives her, she's then inspired to kind of rejoin the Kyoshi Warriors or something like that. I'm not really sure where the book is going specifically. They're just kind of setting up the fact that the sisters have reunited. They're going to be basically going straight into a circus performance, I assume. And there seems to be setting up some sort of a thing that Ty Lee and Tai Wu are the kind of main two of the sisters, in terms of, like, Tai Wu seems a little bit jealous of Ty Lee, and the other 5 sisters seem very similar to Ty Lee in that sense. So I'm not specifically sure where this story is going. I definitely want to hear in the comments what you guys think is actually going to happen in this story, because right now there's a bunch of different directions they could go from here. Like, we have 3 pages here. Realistically, the story is at most about 10 pages long, because it's in here with a bunch of other stories for Free Comic Book Day. So we've got around a third, a quarter of the pages that we're going to get in the story here. So that's interesting. And again, what's Toph's role going to be in the story? As I said, I assume it's just going to be to give Ty Lee some advice, maybe, as she goes through this, and maybe she's going to learn something or realize something from being back in contact with her sisters again. I assume it's some sort of setup for where Ty Lee is in Smoke and Shadows, because obviously she's a big friend of May, and so it makes sense that she's to some extent involved in the upcoming comic series. So where is that going to be? Is she going to be a Kyoshi Warrior? Is she going to be part of the circus, or what? That's the big question. I don't really know. It's interesting. It seems a lot more interesting than last year's Shell's free comic, because the actual story to that was not great. It was just like, okay, cool, we get some Sokka and Suki time. It's kind of inspirational for young girls picking up the comic. That's great, but there's nothing too amazing to it. So that's interesting. But this one seems to have a little bit more going for it, in that we're probably going to learn something or have a little bit of development for Ty Lee like we've never really had before, and that's interesting. But yeah, other than that, not a whole lot else to say. I do think it would be weird if, like, this was just Ty Lee done with the Kyoshi Warriors, just because that plot ended up kind of going nowhere then, if that's the case. So I'm assuming that she will eventually go back to them with kind of renewed confidence and stuff like that. So hopefully that is indeed the case. I'll just, I suppose, look again at the dialogue from that opening panel to see the specifics for why she exactly doesn't feel like she's part of the Kyoshi Warriors anymore. So let's see what she's actually saying. To be honest, I've been feeling kind of down, and I'm not sure why. I've been with the Kyoshi Warriors for a while now, and they're so amazing, but lately nothing's felt right. My aura's been off. So they're amazing, and she kind of likes being around them, but she herself has felt off. Like, she's kind of not in the right place, not doing the right thing. So that's interesting. She's obviously taught the Kyoshi Warriors some level of chi blocking, and that's been helpful, but she doesn't feel like it's the right place to be. That's interesting. Like, I think a lot of people have made the point about, if her issue is that she doesn't want to feel like she's part of a match set, why did she then join the Kyoshi Warriors, who all wear the same outfits, the same makeup, and same kind of hairstyles and sort of things, where it makes them all look identical to everyone else? Like, it worked kind of as a kind of resolution to that plot, and that she was actually happy to join a place where that was the case, and she'd kind of gotten past it. But maybe that's what's happening here. But I'm not really sure. It's interesting. I'm excited to see the rest of this comic, which maybe wasn't the case for Shells. This has the potential to be a proper character development arc. Now, as for the art, I think the art is fine for the most part. The only problem I have is Toph's chin. I think the shape of Toph's face is quite bad. Like, her jaw looks massive. Her jawline looks really massive. Kylie looks perfectly fine throughout, though her kind of lips go kind of back and forth on having lipstick or not on them, but there is a point made about her not having time to take her makeup off, so I'm not really sure what that's about. Other than that, the art seems quite good, actually, so it's kind of like, that's 3 for 3 on these 3 comics in terms of new artists. I just wish that we get more comics, so more of these artists could get more work. But that's been the news video. As I said in the comments, definitely let me know what your thoughts are on these pages from the book, and if you're going to be picking up the Rift hardcover collection on Wednesday. But next Avatar video you'll see from me will probably be that review. If not, it'll be my Book 3 Change Avatar in Review episode. So, thanks for listening to this video, and bye.